Have you ever looked at a city from above? Not from the street, not from a rooftop, but from the sky, and wondered, why does it look like that? Why is Paris almost circular? Why does New York City stretch like a spine along the water? Why does Tokyo seem endless, spreading in every direction? Cities don't grow randomly. They grow according to invisible forces: geography, transportation, economics, power, and human behavior. Tonight, we uncover why cities grow in strange shapes. Before architects, before planners, before governments, there was land. Geography decides first. Rivers determined trade routes. Mountains created natural barriers. Coastlines shaped opportunity and defined boundaries. Take Mumbai, for instance. Originally, Mumbai was a collection of 7 islands. As the city expanded, it couldn't grow west. The Arabian Sea blocked it. It couldn't grow east. The harbor limited it. So it stretched northward, forming a long, narrow spine of development. You can see the exact same pattern in places like San Francisco, which is penned in by the Pacific Ocean and the San Francisco Bay. Cities don't argue with geography. They adapt to it. The initial shape of almost every major city on Earth was carved out not by human hands, but by the hills, rivers, and coastlines that were there long before we arrived. This natural foundation is the first and most powerful force that dictates the strange shapes we see today. Then, transportation reshapes everything. In the 1800s, railroads were the arteries of urban life, and they completely changed how cities grew. In the 1900s, highways transformed them all over again. Urban historians call this phenomenon corridor growth. Simply put, development follows movement. Look at 19th century London. As new rail lines extended outward from the center, neighborhoods began to form around the stations. The city grew like fingers, stretching from a palm, with each finger being a railway line. Then came the age of the automobile. After World War II, the construction of massive highway systems allowed people to live much farther from city centers, while still being able to commute. This gave birth to the sprawling metropolises we know today, like Los Angeles. The shape of LA isn't circular or neatly planned. It's a vast, decentralized network stretched along its freeways. What was once a journey of days became a journey of hours, and the geometry of the city warped to match. Transportation changes everything. Next, there's the powerful force of economic gravity. Cities grow where opportunity concentrates. Think of a city's downtown core as a center of gravity, pulling people, businesses, and investment towards it. In places where land is scarce and demand is extremely high, cities have no choice but to build upward. Take Hong Kong as a perfect example. Mountains severely limit its horizontal expansion. In fact, only about 25% of Hong Kong's land is developed for urban use. The result, the city grows vertically, creating one of the most recognizable and dense skylines in the world. Now, contrast that with cities in the American Midwest, where land is flat and abundant. Instead of towering skyscrapers, you get endless suburban spread. Urban economists explain this with something called the bid rent theory. It's a simple idea. Land closest to the economic center is the most desirable, so it becomes the most expensive. Businesses and high-density housing developments pay top dollar to be there. As you move further away from the core, land gets cheaper and the density decreases. So, the shape of a city, whether it's a tight vertical cluster or a low, sprawling web, is a direct mirror of its land value. Of course, not all city growth is organic. Sometimes, it's shaped by power and planning. Some cities are intentionally redesigned, while others evolve more chaotically over time. In the 1850s, Emperor Napoleon III hired an official named Georges Eugene Haussmann to completely transform Paris. Haussmann demolished crowded medieval neighborhoods and replaced them with the wide grand boulevards and radial avenues we see today. That's why Paris, from above, appears so structured and organized, with streets radiating out from central points like the Arc de Triomphe. Now compare that with ancient medieval cities like Siena or Prague. They grew slowly, organically, over centuries. Their streets are winding, their patterns are irregular, and there was no single master plan guiding their development. They were shaped by footpaths, defensive walls, and the daily needs of their inhabitants. Cities are historical records, frozen in time. Wars reshape them, forcing reconstruction. Empires expand them, leaving behind new grids and monuments, and political decisions can redraw their maps overnight. The hand of power is always at work, sculpting the urban landscape. So, is there a science to all of this? Can we predict how cities will grow? Urban geographers have certainly tried. In 1933, a German geographer named Walter Christolor proposed his central place theory. He predicted that, on a perfectly flat and uniform plane, settlements would naturally form into perfect hexagonal patterns to efficiently serve the surrounding areas. It was a beautiful idea, a world of perfect geometry. But reality always interferes. A river distorts the symmetry. A mountain range blocks expansion. A new highway bends the pattern. History interrupts perfection. Today, modern satellite studies reveal that cities often grow in fractal patterns. These are complex, self-repeating shapes found everywhere in nature, like the branches of a tree, the veins in a leaf, or the network of blood vessels in our own bodies. Cities behave like living organisms. They expand toward resources and opportunity. They avoid resistance and barriers. They constantly adapt to their environment. This tells us that urban growth isn't random. It follows a deep, organic logic that is surprisingly similar to life itself. When we look at our planet from space at night, we see a glittering web of light. These cities are not messy accidents, they are physical memories. Every strange curve tells a story of a river that once flowed there. Every corridor of light reveals a path of human movement, a railroad or a highway. Every dense cluster of skyscrapers reflects a concentration of human desire and ambition. When you see a city from above, you're not seeing chaos. You're seeing geography meeting economics. You're seeing transportation shaping destiny, or seeing history frozen in concrete and steel. Cities grow in strange shapes because human life is never perfectly symmetrical. Our needs, our history, and our dreams are complex and irregular. And maybe, in that beautiful imperfection, we find their true design.